Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule?
Alright, I'm in.
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately.
Alright, we'll get started.
Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Okay. So prioritize the new quest showing its objective markers only. I'll see what I can do. Oh, there we go. So there's the first one. Look! Ray tracing, I think. I'm pretty sure it's ray traced. Pretty. I thought there'd actually been... Oh, there is. Note from Scintilla. Scintilla expresses gratitude to Sentius for adopting her. Scintilla to Sentius, may Jupiter, Optimus, Maximus continue to protect and guide you. Thank you for making me your daughter, and for the lovely birthday pendant. I promise I'll wear it always. I feel so safe and fortunate to have you as my father and Sentia as my sister. I sense you've been feeling apprehensive about the election next month, but if you can just show them the strong and dependable man I know you to be, you'll be re-elected. I'm sure of it. Oh. So we have Scintilla's note. So we have Sentia down here. Oh, she moved.
Oh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here.
Wow.
What do you want?
What's your story?
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that?
I'm not from around here.
Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation?
Do you know a way out of here?
Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it?
Pretty much.
Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Scintilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone.
Can I help?
I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
When did you last see her?
It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms, I went to sleep, and when I woke up, she was gone. That's it.
She was seeing someone?
I think so, yes. But she was very careful about keeping his identity a secret, even from me.
Why is that?
Because our father had plans to marry her off, eventually, and even a rumor about her attachment to some mystery man might have ruined those plans.
My father didn't mention any of this when I spoke to him. Any idea why?
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow wandering off from its paddock. He's upset, of course, but he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her, so he's letting Horatius do the heavy lifting. Some good that's done.
Yeah. Is it possible her lover was involved?
I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks since she disappeared, and he hasn't come forward. That might speak to a guilty conscience. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here in the city.
Okay, so Sentius, what the hell is that expression? Sentia, Scintilla, why are your names all so familiar?
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she's affectionately known as Scintilla.
Oh, all the questions I had.
So you'll help me find her?
I'll do it.
Oh, thank you. You should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed.
I'll see what I can do.
Thanks. I'd appreciate it.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch?
Good point. Fair question.
Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what I thought.
Well, at least we know blasphemy doesn't break the Golden Rule.
I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into behaving.
I suppose we'll find out sooner or later.
I suppose we will.
Can we talk about Zentilla?
Of course. What have you discovered?
Nothing.
Yes, please do.
Alright. So... God, I don't like how they look at me. I can inspect a stove, a shovel, a Roman fire shovel made of bronze. It smells like ash. It's no doubt unpleasant cooking with such poor ventilation, but Romans probably regard that as their servant's problem. Yeah. Wait, so where's her room? Oh, wow. So here she has a vial. Tiny rudimentary perfume made from flowers and oil. A brass mirror. Brass has been polished into a rudimentary mirror which has been used for applying makeup. Oh, her chest. Oh, I don't want to steal. I almost did. She has another note. Ink jar. Ink appears to be made from soot and water. Note from Zentilla. That she has decided to escape. Zentilla to Sentius and Sentia. So may Clementia give you the strength to forgive me. I'm sorry to have to leave you this way, but I have found a way to escape and I must take it. I hope we meet again someday. Oh. I found a note.
What have you discovered?
I found a letter in her room which mentioned her plan to escape.
What? Really? I swear, I searched her room top to bottom and never saw that. I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but well done, I suppose. But it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Sentilla's friend Yulia let slip she was planning an escape of her own. And yet, Yulia's still here. You should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows anything. She lives in the villa next door.
Yulia? Yulia about Sentilla's escape plan. I want to speak with Horatius. Oh, that's Sentius. Where's Horatius? I have no idea. Alright, we'll speak with this guy then. Stranger.
What were you two talking about?
I'm sorry, what?
Don't play dumb. I saw you. Having a shady little chat with old man Sentius up on his balcony. What's he offering you? Money? Favours? What's your vote worth to him?
Oh. He wasn't trying to buy my vote.
What? You're throwing your lot in with him for free then? That's even worse. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if I tell him you sided with that feeble old has-been, that you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory, you'll have picked the wrong patron. Got it?
I wasn't thinking of interfering, but now I am.
Oh, you just made a big mistake. Malleolus is going to hear all about this, and he'll make you suffer the tortures of Tartarus while you're still alive.
So meet Malleolus. Tell Malleolus that he's going down.
Sturcum What's in Coolio Mio?
Oh, I don't even know who he is now. Darn. So Sentius and Malleolus, same excrement, different smell. Nice.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Yeah, why?
Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round here? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. Used to go down into the cisterns looking for junk he could clean up and sell. One day, a few weeks back, he comes out and tells me the cisterns are haunted. Said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed him, because who trusts a Carthaginian, right? Anyway, a few days later, he goes back in. And hours go by, and he hasn't come back out, yeah? So I go down after him, and it's dark. But in the distance, I can just make out his body, sprawled out on the ground, and hunched over him was something that made my blood run cold. No word of a lie, I saw a creature. Like the corpse of a man who'd been flayed, and it was eating Hannibal.
Oh. What did you do?
What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door to warn the others.
That was a great story, but I'm still going. Maybe I'll give it a miss.
Good idea.
I'm pretty sure I can just ignore him. I can indeed. Whoa. The game was having a field day. I know exactly what's down here. That. It's like a zombie, sort of. Kind of, but it's just a golden statue with no features. It's fine, we can run. Meow. As the game has to load. There we go. Perfect. Another ink jar. Anything? I never did any of this when I first played. I didn't explore or look at anything. Not really. I can, yeah. Oh, there's Equita. Small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. Octavia? I can read the note. Note to Octavia. Directions to a secret shrine. Enter the caves behind the theatre, then turn right at the first fog and the second. Oh. Wait, reading mode? Oh, right, okay. So, an anonymous friend to Octavia. May the Lord bless and keep you. I'm sorry I could not risk discussing this with you in person, but if I am right, then you're a believer like me. You may not be able to worship openly here, but know that you're not alone. If you ever feel like you need to be somewhere to pray, there's a special place waiting for you deep in the caves behind the theatre. Turn right at the first fork, and again at the second. Oh. Right, so Equita's over there. With another stove. I don't need to speak with her just yet. I can't remember if this leads to anything. Any rooms are out. I don't think it does. Sculpture of Minerva, the Roman goddess of strategy. Yeah, there's bugger all up here. I don't know why the game keeps, like, flipping out. I don't know if I broke my legs or if it's because I was on fire. It was weird.
Isn't the great temple majestic? A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure
Oh, Equitia.
of this
That's her
visit?
name, not Equita. What's your story?
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?"
Sorry, what should I have done?
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change.
Well, that's nice. So how did you end up here?
You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here?
A young woman named Karen dragged me out of a river unconscious and sent me in here.
Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you.
It's an older name, but not uncommon where I'm from.
Older. I see. I wonder wonder if... No,
What were you going to say?
I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too?
Nope.
I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
Okay. You're being a bit coy.
I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
What happened to Olivia?
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you?
Alright.
Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns.
I'll see what I can do. Do you know a way out of here?
I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to me we're exiled here until the gods judge us, one way or another.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We ask for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here, it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long.
Why not? I have time.
Wonderful. It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all, until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now, the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers into their house and offer them food, wine, and a place to stay. Immediately, the guests make themselves at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic. Realizing only a select few possess such powers, says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately, the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish."
That's pretty
So
shitty of
old
him.
Baucis and
Jesus.
Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
Or perhaps it's that the gods might kill you at any moment for failing their test. And they don't even have to tell you what the rules are.
A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose.
Okay, what's the status of the election?
It must be completed by dusk, just the same as any other official business. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malleolus, the challenger. Why do you ask?
Who's allowed to vote?
All of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course.
Can I vote then?
Well, you're not a citizen yet, so no, I'm afraid not. But if it's any consolation, there are other ways to influence the outcome of an election.
Such as?
By using whatever gifts the gods gave you. Nothing untoward, of course.
So what's your role in the election?
I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the procedures are followed.
Can I nominate another candidate?
You can, assuming they're eligible and willing to accept the nomination.
Okay.
Certainly.
And that's everything.
Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbours.
Wonder if I can speak with the gladiator or not. I can't move. Is he just gonna say the same thing?
What's in Coolio
Yep.
Mio?
Alright, well, whatever. I can go and speak with Cynthia.
Are they?
Are they? Oh, there's Horatius.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind. What now?
Ooh. Wait, what? Alright, whatever.
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughter, I should say, and the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
How did you end up here?
I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing all right for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl and pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind as labour does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
What can you tell me about the magistrate?
He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Fair.
I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested.
Can I see the citizen register?
I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
So summary of... Wait. Summary, wow. A register of each person in the city in alphabetical order. So we have Aurelia, Commoner, Tavern Keeper, Tavern in Slum, claims to know a way out, Claudia, Patrician, wife of Malleolus, Court of Villas, or the Villa, Decius, Commoner, Merchant, in the Forum, Demetrius, Malleolus's guard, is that Julius? Unable to work, imprisoned in warehouse, Laquitia, Vestal Priestess, Villa, Fabia, Baker, Galerius, Farmer, Georgius, Merchant, Clothes, Hannibal, Foreigner, Forage for Scrap. Oh, died in cistern. Horatius. Oh, that's who he is. Kabash. Fisherman. Oh, disappeared. Julia. Debt bondsman to Malleolus. Livia, hairdresser, now refuses to work. Lucretia, nurse. Malleolus, money lending, not to be trusted. Navia, physician, locked herself in palace. Octavia, patrician, cleaning, gardening. Rufius, patrol, increasingly agitated. Centia, restricted to the villa for safety. And then Scintilla, missing. Centius, Ulpius. Debt bondsman to Malleolus, Virgil, architect. Forum, Virgil? I don't know who that is. Sure. Thanks.
Of course.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
So where I'm from, that would be considered collective punishment, which is a war crime.
A war crime? Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in times of war the law falls silent.
Our worlds are very different.
Seems that way. War crimes. Ridiculous.
Are you saying you're in favour of it?
What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it. So railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
Okay.
If you like.
What else we got? Who are you gonna vote for?
Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Centius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage, but he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Centius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
Can I help?
I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings.
Can we talk about Scintilla?
What business is that of yours?
I'm looking for her.
A lot of people have been looking for her, but it's been 3 weeks, and we've found nothing. What makes you think you can do better?
Sometimes fresh eyes help.
I suppose that's true.
I know what you did to her. Did you notice anything suspicious before she went missing?
Scintilla was always a kind, well-behaved young woman. I admit, her disappearance really caught me off guard. If anyone knows something, I'd expect it to be Centia, Malleolus, Claudia, or Domitius. But none of them will tell me anything. You might fare better though, I suppose.
Okay.
Fine.
And that's it?
Alright. Please keep an eye out for anything that might lead us to Scintilla.
You got it. Can I ask how she ended up here?
What have you discovered?
I was hoping to talk to you about something else.
Oh,
What's your story?
Cynthia. What are you doing in here?
Oh, charming. That's all she says. Okay.
Right.
Thought maybe she'd tell me how she ended up here.
Out for Scintilla, would you?
Can I ask him how he ended up here?
Ah, you've returned. Do you have any news about your investigation?
I can actually do. What's your story? Oh, there we go.
Of course. What is it?
Think I know who it is.
Are you sure you've spent enough time investigating to make that call? It seems to me you've barely had enough time to scratch the surface. It looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Now, was there anything
Fine.
else you wanted to ask? Ask then.
Okay, that's nothing.
Good.
Your story.
Sextus Sentius Imperiosus is my name, though magistrate is the proper way to address me. Before I wound up here, I was a decurion in the cavalry of Imperial Rome, helping protect civilization from the barbarians.
What's a decurion?
It's a cavalry officer. I had 30 men under my command. This was my uniform.
Why are you still wearing it?
As magistrate, I usually wear a toga, but today I may need to survive long enough to create the portal for you, so it seemed prudent.
Okay, how did you end up here?
My men and I were at the Emporium in Rome as honor guard for a visiting dignitary arriving upriver by barge. Now the port is usually bustling, but just as our guests arrived, waves of people began running toward the river from streets and alleyways in every direction. They were trying to escape a terrible fire. Unfortunately, the crowd sent my horse into a panic, and I remember it losing its footing by the water's edge. The next thing I knew, I was waking up on a riverbank not far from here in the company of some stranger. I went looking for my horse and discovered that lonely temple. You can probably figure out the rest.
How did you come to be magistrate?
I was elected 7 months ago, uncontested because of my command experience. Since then, there's been growing agitation for another election. They're supposed to be annual, but I agreed to hold it sooner, hoping it would placate my constituents.